Okay, hello guys. Here we are, week one, Genesis process one. We're talking about change and the need for change in our life. And before we can change, we need to recognize that stagnation is a real problem. Now, this starts out right at the top of page 20. Okay, and so as you open up and you begin to discover, I want to call your attention to the first paragraph there. If you were designed for change and self-discovery, how would God engineer awareness in you and keep you participating in the process? He did this by two things: painful systems of stagnation. Okay? Painful symptoms of stagnation. If you blame your problem on somebody else, if you don't take responsibility for your life, if you try to change your environment rather than change yourself, you're going to just encounter more pain. And that's why most of us have the addiction that we have, whatever it is that we're medicating the pain that we're in because we've tried to change everything but ourselves. And now it's time to take responsibility and realize, okay, the pain of change is going to be less than the pain of blame. I'm not going to play this game anymore. So he does this by two things: painful symptoms of stagnation and positive rewards for taking risks and steps of faith. Now that's scary. You're going to have to trust somebody. These lead you out of stagnation and towards your potential. And that's really where we're at in the first. We have to recognize that there is a reward for change, but it involves risk and it involves faith, which is going to involve us facing our fears, many of which we don't even recognize or see. And so we're asked to do the self-evaluation on pages 22 through 24 to help you understand just how stuck are you. Now from there we go on into the next section, which starts on page 25. And it talks about the power of hope. And at the top of the page you have this little chart, which is basically starts with hope. And we learn that in order to have hope, well, we need to have change. Hope requires change. But change also requires risk. But risk requires faith. Okay? And so if we can get this healthy cycle going in our life, if we want to have hope, well, we're going to have to see change. But if we're going to see change, we're going to need to take risks. And if we're going to take risks, we got to trust somebody outside ourselves. And this is the hope formula. This is the place in which we come and begin to recognize that we've got to be able to trust people, trust God, trust this process, and be able to move forward. Healthy people are able to identify what they're working on, the problem, the struggle, and the pain, and verbalize their plan to resolve it. And that's why we're here for each other. This will help us do that. So there's an exercise here to go through a self-evaluation for the power of hope. Just talking about where are you currently in the hope formula? I mean, are you moving toward change? Are you risking? Is trust still an issue for you? And then the last part of this section is breaking the power of spiritual stagnation. It starts on page 28. Okay, now stagnation basically is just being stuck, and it's not changing myself. And so breaking spiritual stagnation starts with me recognizing that God's made me good at something and that I have the ability to impact things around me. Okay, so the first part of life and recovery is you grow by receiving, but the second part is that you grow by giving back. And so we learn that we're all good at something, but we also learn that that something is a gift to us and we have to give to grow and to change. In other words, if you're going to invest in yourself, you got to invest in others too. You have to give to grow. Okay, now there's all kinds of exercises to go through here. where we're going to be going through breaking uh, these spiritual stagnation in my life. So we're going to be making a commitment to change. And we need to know, hey, well, what is that commitment to change that I'm going to be making? And we need to be thinking that through this week. Also, as we help each other, on page 32, there are a list of self-discovery questions. Now, we're not in the habit of calling each other yet, but we'll need to work and move there, because this is exactly where we're trying to build as a group. This is not a process you go through by yourself and all of a sudden find yourself fixed. No, this is a process by which we build relationships and we become known. And as we know each other, the good and the bad, we begin to be able to help each other. So I hope this gives you a kind of a kick start. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me, and look forward to seeing you guys next week.